Self-doubt, incredibly crippling problem. Well, actually, excessive self-doubt is the crippling problem, because that self-doubt actually at the right time and the right place is useful. But when it becomes excessive, when we use it too much, it really gets in the way of what we're doing. So we're going to take you through 3 reasons why actually self-doubt is easier to overcome than you think. So millions of people suffer from excessive self-doubt. Now, self-doubt in itself is good. Now, when I say that, most people are really surprised when I say that. How can self-doubt be good? But actually, every time you need to make an important decision, even sometimes a trivial decision, we're meant to stop and go, hang on a second, is this right? Is this a good idea? Can I do this? That's a good thing. And it stops us jumping into making decisions and taking actions that we haven't thought through properly. We get carried away with the emotion, in other words. So having self-doubt at that point helps us make better decisions, so we get better results. It's the excessive self-doubt that's the problem. And it is the single biggest reason why people underachieve in their careers, their businesses, and lots of other things. So most people recognize when they doubt themselves because, hey, you're human. You get to do that, and that's normal. But if we're talking excessive self-doubt, people often realize they're doing it because sometimes people are really good at what they do and they've had other people tell them, but they still doubt themselves. They know that they are capable of something and they doubt themselves too much and they hold back on doing something that they actually know they can do. So there's an argument going on inside the head. So most people recognize when they're doing it, but they don't know how to stop it. And we do. That's our speciality. So 3 reasons to prove that it can be fixed, and fixed very quickly, actually. Self-doubt is not a random thing. It's not a random thing. You just don't do it for no reason at all. There is a reason why you do it, and there's a process that your brain uses to create it. Now, it's an exaggeration of that process I was telling you before when we're making decisions. But there's 4 parts to making a good decision. The 4th part is when you're meant to have some doubt and lose a bit of confidence. So you just check your thinking before you finally say yes, and then you take action. So we're meant to do that. So that is the process that can get exaggerated. And you will personally have a reason for making that process hyper exaggerated. So everyone's reason is different, but the process is the same, which is very, very useful, because when you know the reason, and I guarantee we'll find the reason, and we always find it within the first 2 hours of working together. Everyone says, what? 2 hours? Yeah. Doesn't matter how long you've been having it. Doesn't matter whether you have been doing it for years and years and years, or you can't remember at all, but you've always just known that you've had lacking in confidence and not believing in yourself. Doesn't matter if you've been doing this for absolute decades, because that's actually quite normal. We can find the reason within 2 hours. Guarantee it. That's not a problem. And because there is a process that we know of how it gets created, we can turn it off. We can turn it off very, very simply. So there's a reason, there's a process, which means you don't do it all the time. When that reason has not been triggered, it means that you don't do it. So it's very, very unusual, very rare that people have self-doubt in all situations all of the time. It's selective. So because that self-doubt thinking is selective, sometimes you think, yeah, I've got absolute confidence. I know I can do this and it's fine. And sometimes you're doubting yourself and you're not quite sure why, but you are. It means you're turning it on and off selectively, which means it's controllable. You're already controlling it. So therefore, if you are turning it on and off selectively, unconsciously, not really possibly understanding why, it means we can make that control bigger and easier. So this is why some people have success in one area of their lives, but not in another. Why they allow themselves to hit goals to a certain level, but then they put the brakes on. So it's selective. So when you have this selective thinking, it means you already do have some sort of control on it. All we've got to do is find the reason, and because we know the process, we just make that control bigger and more permanent because it's a process. And you're already using that process in that selective way, which also means that you have a conflict, an argument inside your head. And the frustration that you have, which may lend you to watching this video, watching this training, is that because you have this frustration, it's like, I know I'm capable of more. And there's another part of your head saying, no, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, or whatever else is going on inside your head. So if you have that conflict, that is a fantastic sign that you can change it. So what we call your real thinking, or the real you, says, I'm capable of more. If you weren't there, if that part of your brain wasn't there, you would be happily self-sabotaging and not realizing it. So you want to get back in control and turn this excessive thinking off. And this is why we have an argument. And most people, it sounds like it's two people inside my head having an argument, and I just can't get the other one to shut up. So you want it to shut up. So if you didn't have this frustrating and stressful conflict, you wouldn't care about underperforming. So the frustration is evidence of your true value and ambition, your abilities, wanting to get out there. Just you haven't let yourself. So what we do in the Alpha program is make sure your real thinking is in charge of your business, your career, your life. So we just need to turn off the self-doubt thing so you can do this. So this is the thing, and I've said this a few times to a few people, and whenever I've just said this, it's almost like, wow, that's really great to hear. And what I say to people is, you're not broken. The real you's not broken. It's not, almost there's nothing wrong with you, because you do have that ambition. You do want to succeed. You do want to do things that you know you're capable of doing. You're not broken. You don't need fixing. But because of these two parts of your brain having an argument about who's in charge of whether you make this decision and do this thing or not, it feels like it, but you're not, because the real you is just wants to get on with it. But what you have is two ways of thinking that are in competition about the best way of looking after you and helping you be successful. And this is what we show you in the first 2 hours, always. So relax a bit. You're not broken, but keep frustrated, because there's nothing wrong with you. It's just like there's a mechanism that is just overdoing things, which is causing you to underperform. Because of that conflict, that means, again, we can turn this off and let you get going. And it takes about 4 weeks. That's what it takes. 2 hours to find the reason, and about 4 weeks for you to understand how to apply it practically and really be using it in that time. That's all it takes. We're predictable because of the process. That's how long it takes for us to help you get this self-doubt thinking under control. But the best bit is not getting it under control, to be honest. The best bit is what you start allowing yourself to think about and then naturally do, once you've overcome this, once this is turned off. That's the best bit. And people are always stunned at what they allow themselves to do and start doing almost unconsciously. They don't realize they're doing it, and then they go, oh yeah, my behavior's changed. Oh wow, that was easy. And that's the best bit. That's the most fun bit, because that's where you start to actually go and achieve things. So if you're fed up and you're frustrated with this argument, self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fearing failure, looking stupid, and you just had enough of it because you know you're more capable, then this is the Alpha program. Book in a call. Let's have a chat. I promise you, it's not high pressure. You've got to do it. We'll just explain how it works, how we can do it in 4 weeks. And we've done it with lots and lots of people. And I promise you, you can be thinking and feeling very differently about yourself. And I promise you as well, your behavior starts to change very, very quickly. And it's a much nicer place to be than always second guessing yourself and not believing in yourself. So if that's you, had enough of the self-doubt, book in, give us a call. Let's have a chat. I promise you, we could do a lot of stuff in a very, very short period of time. Take care.